Canada has no problem attracting visitors. It is at the top of many a travel list, and for good reason. It seems to have it all, from scenery that takes your breath away, to modern, vibrant cities, some of the friendliest locals, and incredible wildlife. Likewise, neighbouring Alaska has some of the most famous wilderness in the world. But when is the best time to go? Canada is an enormous country and would take a lifetime to discover in its entirety. It experiences very distinct seasons and much the same weather around the country during the year. But the diversity in landscape between regions in Canada means the seasons can present in their own very unique way. In the West, Canada boasts incredible treasures, from the cosmopolitan city of Vancouver to the famous resort of Whistler, beautiful Banff, and the picture postcard scenery of Lake Louise, all nestled in the Rocky Mountains, and some of the most famous national parks on the planet. In the East, French Canada is simply stunning, different but equally captivating scenery. And in between, the cities of Calgary, Toronto and Ottawa each have their own flavour and are packed with Canadian culture and multicultural flair. Summer is the peak travel period across Canada, and given its location reaching up towards the Arctic, locals and visitors alike make the most of the season of warm, sunny days. Canada is the king of outdoor pursuits, so the summer months represent the best opportunities for hiking, boating, fishing and more, especially in the spectacular wilderness areas of British Columbia and Alberta, where it is also a great time for spotting active wildlife such as moose and bears. A trip on board the Rocky Mountaineer is perfect at this time of year, and one you can tick off your bucket list. In cities like Vancouver and Toronto, people enjoy al fresco dining and spending as much time outdoors as possible. And it's the peak time for cruising Alaska's Inside Passage and exploring the wilderness capitals of Juneau and Homer, or perhaps watching an iceberg carving into the sea. Canada Day and the Calgary Stampede are also celebrated at this time. And in Montreal, the famous Jazz Festival is a hit on the summer calendar. The weather in Vancouver during summer averages around 23 degrees. In Banff and Whistler, it is 22 degrees. Calgary will be around 23 degrees. Toronto is up to 27 degrees. Quebec, 26 degrees. Montreal, 27 degrees. And Ottawa, 26 degrees. In Alaska and the Inside Passage, the weather in summer ranges between 0 and 16 degrees, so warm clothes are still a must, but there still will be plenty of sunshine, almost 18 hours per day. In autumn, the weather starts to cool, and particularly on the East Coast, a breathtaking display of autumn colours emerges. This famous display attracts visitors from all over the world, and the moderate temperatures and fall foliage make a great time for touring. In the West, the autumn period is known for the salmon run, where millions of fish return to the river systems, attracting huge numbers of wildlife predators, particularly bears. The colours along the Niagara Gorge are simply spectacular, making a trip to the falls wonderful at this time. And the Rockies are still very pleasant to visit. You might even experience a surprise flurry of snow. Vancouver gets down to about 14 degrees in the middle of autumn. Banff and Whistler, 11 degrees. Toronto, 15 degrees. Calgary, 12 degrees. In eastern Canada, Montreal will be around 14 degrees. Quebec, 12, and the capital, Ottawa, 13. Around the Inside Passage, it will average around 8 degrees at this time, and the wildlife will be out and about getting prepared for winter. Canada is a famous winter destination for many reasons. The snow in the Rocky Mountains creates buzzing world-class ski resorts, and people flock to experience Banff and Whistler at this time of the year. Lake Louise freezes and turns into an enormous natural ice skating rink. Almost all of the country experiences snowfall, and most national parks are closed, but accessible locations love to maximise the season with activities such as dog sledding. And Christmas is celebrated with holiday festivals and markets, and the world's largest winter carnival, the Quebec Winter Festival, runs over 14 days. Temperatures in Vancouver hover around 5 degrees in January. In Calgary, expect -5. In Toronto, -2, in Banff, -6, Whistler, -1, and Montreal, Ottawa and Quebec will also be freezing and around -6. Spring brings some welcome sunshine to the country, and the wildflowers beckon everyone back from winter. Temperatures rise back above freezing, towns like Victoria come alive again with spring blooms, and people enjoy the long spring ski season in the west. National parks start to reopen, and whales can be frequently sighted on the Atlantic coast. Temperatures in Vancouver are around 14 degrees, in Banff 7 degrees, Whistler 10 degrees, Calgary 10 degrees, and on the other side of the country, Toronto will be around 12 degrees in the middle of spring, Ottawa and Montreal 11 degrees, and Quebec 9 degrees. In Alaska, the destinations along the Inside Passage start to come out of winter shutdown and the cruise season recommences, with wildlife waking up and flowers bursting into bloom. So, Canada's incredible diversity and scale means that there is something to lure you at any time of the year. When will you go?